recording going. Okay, let's modify this. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. So for those of you who've studied something of the Dharma, you know that there's something called conditioning, and this is how our mind is formed. For instance, our language is English. We were born in a certain place. We were taught certain things. We imitated certain people, and so our mind is conditioned by our environment and our history. And one of the ways that awakening is described in the wisdom traditions is to dissolve our conditioning, to go beyond our conditioning, to let go of our conditioning, and actually be in reality as it is without the filter. So one way I think of conditioning is if you look out a window and look at nature or what's out there, there's a screen on the window, all these squares, tiny squares. And normally we don't notice it. But if we look at it, we notice that all of what we're seeing is actually being broken up by the screen. And that screen is our conditioning. So one of the thrusts of Qigong is to let go of some of this conditioning, maybe bit by bit, so that we can be in touch, or we can embody Qi, the fundamental energy of reality, of life itself.
I can't hear it. Your speaker's not working.
So, yeah, I think everybody needs to mute themselves. So
please check your connection or use a different speaker.
This is presented in this tradition is through stillness and movement, and every time we talk about and practice stillness and movement, and present moment awareness, so that the mind isn't busy running while we're doing our practice. And one way that this is, I think, really easily understood, if we're doing something like cloud hands. So if I just take my arm and lift it and pass it in front like this, just this movement. Is there a time when the hand is here, and when it's here, and when it's here, and when it's here? Well, the answer is no, because the hand never stops. So the mind tries to break up this movement. If we're looking at conditioning, the mind tries to say, well, the hand starts here, and when it's halfway, it's here, and when it's finished, it's over here, and then it's at all these little places in between. But in fact, that's conditioning. That's a construction. the hand is constantly moving. It's never at any one place. And this is how the mind, using time, breaks the world up into linear patterns of perception and of thinking. So we tend to think that linear time is what's real, and timelessness is what's unattainable or difficult to attain because everything seems to flow along. But in fact, the position of the hand moment to moment is actually timeless. And the delusion is that the time is moving in a linear fashion. This is a delusion presented by the conditioning of our mind. So we're going to practice today some of the Qigong forms for letting go of this conditioning and just being in the moment, which occurs much faster than we can ever know. This moment, this moment, this moment, this moment, this moment. How many moments are there in this gesture? Are there 3, beginning, middle, and end? Are there 10? Well, there's an infinite number of moments, aren't there? And that's timelessness. So we're actually living in timelessness. That's what's real.
What?
And what's a lower level of truth is that these things follow one after the other. So we'll be doing some practices to recognize conditioning and let go of it. And most of us can't live in an unconditioned state. Maybe the Buddha can. But for us to touch into, for a moment, the unconditioned, that's huge, because that's liberation. So that's kind of an intellectual construct for what we're doing, but it does point toward what's really true. What's going on in the world right in this moment with 8 billion people and all the animals and plants and everything, what's going on in any second is not linear. It's all happening at once in every moment. And that's according to the Taoist teachings, that's what reality is. Now, when we're still, it seems that we can locate ourselves in space and time. I'm here now. I'm here now. I'm here now. I'm not moving. It seems like we can locate ourselves. So stillness is the doorway to the deeper level of the awareness of timelessness or present moment. Okay, let's go ahead and bow to the directions. Oh, someone else needs to mute themselves. Okay, so let's start out bow to the east. We turn, bow to the south. Bow to the west. Finally, bow to the north. above. Below. Okay, let's go into 3 backwashes. Tree and spring, backwash going down. Opening up the spine. Coming back up. Extending the spine. One. Okay to smile. 2. Okay. And once again. So the back is open, front is closed. And as we come up, we close the back and in breath, and we open the front. Relax. Open. Okay, one more time. See that your weight is evenly balanced on your feet. So with all that movement, we were never at any, excuse me, we're never at any particular place at any particular time because we were constantly moving. The movement liberates us in space and also in time. Standing still now, we can locate ourselves in space and we're not moving, so we're here in this body, in this moment, in this time. And then what's moving now very, very rapidly is our perception. All of our sense doors, our mind, all of our contact with the reality is changing moment to moment to moment. The chi, the life energy in the body, is constantly inconstant. It's constantly moving and changing. So this is a deeper level. This is at a level of consciousness, a deeper level, because the body is locatable, but our perception of it constantly changing. So we're in an internal timelessness, internally beyond space and time, externally in space and time, the body, physical body. Both at once. Okay, now let's loosen up the neck and shoulders. Take a deep breath, just let go of tension. We really tend to tense up in our shoulders, just kind of naturally. It's our conditioning, because little kids are tense like that. I don't think animals mostly are too much. I don't really know. But we've been through a lot as adults, and a lot of that tension gets stored up here in the neck and shoulders. So this is actually, these movements are actually very liberating. The release of the tension is a release of conditioning. Okay. Now let's go down to loosening up the hips. Some of us have been trained to try to hold in our bellies so we look thinner or something. And then even certainly as we age, our hip joints get maybe a little arthritic or a little tighter. So just loosening this a little, this is a release as well. And then circling. This is a little bit of an internal organ massage too. Really, if you just do this once a week, this will go a long way to keeping your hips flexible, giving you better balance. You don't have to do it every single day. I mean, it's good if you do, but all right. And now balancing, so however you want to. Again, standing on one foot a little bit from time to time will do wonders for your sense of balance. It's just the body just goes, oh yeah, I can do this. You don't have to work at it all the time, train it. It's just natural. Oh yeah, I can do this. But if we don't do it, then it gets much harder to do. So conditioning tends to make us rigid and tense, habitual. So anything that makes us a little more flexible, physically, mentally, emotionally, is going to be liberating. Because we can go with what's happening a little better. It's when we try to be rigid that we suffer. Okay. All right, very good. We're going to now we're going to go through the Trembling Mountain, the 7 gates routine, and then we're going to go into the cicada routine. And all of this is oriented towards step by step, letting go of tension and letting go of conditioning with our intention. We're actually intending to open and release. That's our intention in doing that, and that's important. It's not an accident. It's an intention to let go of, to become liberated. It's our intention to release restrictions. Okay, so you can just sort of set that intention, just to taste freedom, however you want to imagine it, and just to let go, relax. Thich Nhat Hanh would say to be in the present moment. Okay, so let's start with Trembling Mountain. And really give yourself to this practice. Don't hold back. Nobody's judging you or watching you. When you get into a real comfortable rhythm, then change it. There are many natural rhythms in the body. And so, we can harmonize with different ones, with the heartbeat, or with the breath, pumping of lymph. Cells are being born and dying in the body, whole lifetimes of going through it. Okay, now let's bring the intention to release. So this can happen in many different ways. We can be sloughing off chips of ice that come crashing down. We can be dissolving worrisome thoughts. We can be letting go of attachment to pain, or we can, if we're visual, you can imagine or feel that sort of invisible things are falling off. Things are dissolving. Hard things are becoming soft. However you can do it, but you bring the intention, bring your consciousness, and mix it with the movement for the intention of releasing, just releasing. And focus a little more on the out breath. Now the space at the end of the out breath that can be a moment of liberation, because the out breath you release. Then if you don't suck in the next in breath real quickly, that space at the end can be a space of unconditioned. Where you're just moving, you're just movement. Okay, let's take 3 more breaths. And then come into stillness. Now for a moment, maybe there's no one here. It's just this tingling, just this release. We've released, so there's much more space, emptiness. Okay. Okay, very good. And now that we've let go of all this, we're going to do the filter. So this is like tree in autumn, so in breath. And we're going to make our hands into a screen of light. The screen's made of starlight, moonlight. And as we bring our hands down, we're bringing this screen of light down through the body. And filtering out any of this stuff that's been shaken loose. All the way down. And then in breath up. And now make the filter a little finer. And maybe you can feel this moving through the body. And all that goes into the ground as compost. Look up. Last one. So this light screening out everything unneeded. Then in breath, out breath, rest, and disappear. Okay, in breath, come back. In breath, fully present. Out breath, relax, release. End of the out breath, disappear. In breath, come back. Okay, so I think most of you have done the opening the 7 gates. So the arm motions are we reach out, and then the backs of the hands face each other so that the fingertips are pointing to the center line of the body. Then we bring the hands close to the body, and then the arm motion is to open. So it's like we're opening double doors, like double gates. We're opening the body. Okay? And what are we opening the body to? We're opening the body to the flow of universal life force energy, or Qi, that's flowing through it. So we're opening it to the front, but also to the back and up and down. We're doing the motion to the front, but we're opening, and there's seven gates we're going to be opening. Okay? And then the body movement will bend the waist, bend the knees, fold in, point into the body. And as we open, then the body opens up. Yeah, like that. Good. Okay, so the 7 gates are the perineum, the lower dantian in the abdomen, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the forehead, and the crown of the head. Those are the seven gates. Okay, so let's do the first time. Let's do it together, and then do the other two at your own pace, and then we'll all bring down the bone marrow wash together. So ready? So the hands start open. Okay. So here we go. So bend the waist, pointing to the perineum, and open. And there may be sound effects for you here. There may be a vision, maybe a sensation in the body. Okay, next one. Open, open, open. Open the belly. This is an out breath as you fold in. Now the middle of the body as you stand up. Open. Opening up the physical body. Okay, and the next one is the heart. So imagine laser beams of light coming from the hands, penetrating the rib cage. So opening the rib cage, opening the lungs, opening the heart, opening the whole physical body. Okay. And now the neck, the throat, opening the airway. This is open all the way down now. Completely open. And number 6, we'll point to the forehead, and we're going to open up the skull, open up the brain, open up the mind into spaciousness. Open. Okay. And now the 7th one, crown of the head. So open, and this opens all the way down. The whole body now is open all the way down. You can use your internal vision if you like. Feel it. Just sense the whole body is open. And now we'll dip the knees. Now we're going to bring down, so we're going to embrace this column of light from the stars. We're going to bring down, palms face down, bring down the light of the stars, or the honey of heaven, as they would say, and fill each opening. Fill each opening all the way down. Very good. We'll do 2 more. Bringing down. Okay. And 1 more. Eyes follow the hands all the way down. Body is filled with light. All right, very good. So go ahead at your own pace. We'll open the 7 gates, and then bring down the light of the stars. And we'll do that twice. Okay. So, very good. Now, the nature of impermanence and conditioning is that it keeps reforming. Moment to moment to moment, reality remakes itself. So, we do this practice, we can touch into this boundless freedom. And now we're going to go into the next one, which is Cicada. And then we'll go into a sitting practice, which goes to the next level from that. So the Cicada, it's very simple. So we're going to open the fourth gate. But as we do this, since we've opened all 7 3 times, as we open the fourth, we open all of it. We open the whole body. So this is like a sort of like maybe a mummy. They're wrapped in all these bandages. You just, when you do this, it splits down the middle like a cicada, and then the shell opens, okay? And then we're going to shift the weight, step forward out of it, 1 foot, 2 foot. Then it crumbles behind us, okay? And then we come back and then step back and step back. And then repeat. So, dipping the knees, bringing it in. We're going to split the whole shell, dip the knees. As we straighten up, we're cracking this whole thing open, the whole thing. Open, shift, step, step, and then it all crumbles behind. So touch in, shift, step back, and then repeat. Fold it. Really intention, very important. So open, open, open. Okay. Shift, step, step, shift, step, step. Now it's starting to reform again. So here we go. Now there's another thin film, this armor. We're opening it up, letting it go, and stepping out, and stepping back. And let's do a couple more. Is there sound involved? Is there sensation? Yeah, let's do one more. Very good. So these moments of freedom are available moment to moment to moment. There's a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. Life is a whole series of chances. If we've made mistakes in the past, it's okay. Every moment is a chance, opportunity. Okay, let's go ahead and take our seat. Once you're settled, let's try it using the breath and going through mentally, remembering the cicada, going through the movement again, using the breath. Now this may change from what you were doing. Let it change. You don't have to keep doing it if it changes. Now you can shed the armor moment to moment. It can fall away as soon as it begins to form. You know, what's liberated from the physical body is the body of light, the body of energy. And it is not bounded by the rules of physics. And this body of energy manifests as a tingling sensation in the physical body. And you can continue, and if you like, you can open that light body, that energy body too. See what's inside that. Now, moment-to-moment reality, according to Zen, is the coming into being of form and the dissolution of form into boundlessness. Moment to moment to moment. Very, very quickly. becomes a vibration, almost a hum. And there's no space for the self. It's just this presence. Let's take a few more breaths. If thoughts arise and vanish, that's just boundlessness into form. That's the thoughts are formed. And then form dissolving into boundlessness. It's happening at a mental level, a non-physical level. And the presence is just consciousness itself, which is beyond space and time. So there's no coming and going. Okay, let's take a few more breaths. And just begin to move a little bit, a little subtly at first. So conditioning itself is just something that arises and passes away moment to moment as well. It's not rigid. So we can experience the unconditioned in this present moment. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do our closing. So we'll clap one time, make a little heat, massage our eyes, comb back our hair, massage our ears. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your practice. And if you would like to slip away, feel free to do so. And if you would like to stay for questions and comments, I will stop the recording